Okay, I have the pressure set at 80 psi and I have the zero on the mid-toil at 0, and I have 5 microinches per division. I'm going to turn the pressure down to 70 psi, and you can see it goes down about 5 microinches. I'm going to turn it down to 60 psi. And you see it goes down to about 10 microinches. Now I'm going to go back up to 65 psi. That's close to 65. I'm going to go up to 70 psi. That's about 70 psi. And now I'll go back up to 75 psi. You can see that. And I'll go up to 80 psi. And you can see at 80 psi, I'm back at 0. I'll go up to 85 psi. You can see it goes up just a little bit. I'm going to go up to 90 psi. And it comes up just a little bit more, maybe 5 microinches above. I'm going to go back down to 85 psi. And then I'm going to go down to 80 psi. And it's back at 0. I'm going to go down to 75 psi. That's about 75 psi. I'm going to go down to 70 psi. And I'm going to go down to 65 psi. You can see the indicator dropping. I'm going to go down to 60 psi. You can see it's gone down about 10 microinches with 20 psi. I'm going to go right all the way back up to 80 psi. And you can see it goes back to 0. Now I'm going to go up to 90 psi. You can see it goes up about 5 psi. Then I'm going to go back down to 80 psi. And I'm going to go down to 70 psi. And now I'll go back up. I'll go to 71 psi, or 72 psi. You can see it moves just a little bit. I'm going to go to 74 psi. I'm going to go to 76 psi. I'm going to go to 78 psi. And I'm going to go all the way up to 80 psi. And it comes back to 0. I'll go to 82 psi. I'll go to 84 psi. I'll go to 86 psi. I'll go to 88 psi. I'll go to 90 psi. And I'll go all the way up to 100 psi. You can see it goes up about 10 microinches. I'm going to drop back down to 80 psi. And it goes back to 0. All right? Very good.